大家好。台湾好不好？好。Okay. Hello. My name is Tetsushi Awano, and I'm a DevOps engineer in Rakuten Travel. And today I would like to talk about how Ruby has dramatically improved the productivity of the developers in Rakuten Travel. So, to introduce myself, my hobby is cycling, and I've recently did Fandao 2 times, last year and the year before. And one time is about 1,000 kilos, and you can see the whole island, and it's a beautiful island. I recommend it. And another part about myself. I'm a rapper in Tokyo. Yes. So if you come to Tokyo, please contact me. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And I'm also a DevOps engineer in Rakuten. Yes. And I have a helmet because I was bored that time. Okay, so this is about myself. And by the way, do you know Rakuten? Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's in Japanese it means optimistic. So we believe that the future is bright, and we can make the future more brighter with innovation and technologies. And we have over 60 services, and we also provide service in Taiwan as well. So this is Rakuten. Let me just share some of the service. This is Rakuten Ichiba in Japan, and this is Rakuten Travel, where I work. And we also have a site in Taiwan, and this is called Letien, I think. Letien, yes, and this is the Taiwan site. And we also have a Taiwan site for Rakuten Travel as well. So if you have an opportunity to go to Japan, please make a reservation using Rakuten Travel. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'm a DevOps engineer, and how many of you know DevOps? 谢谢你。DevOps is a software engineer culture. So it tries to unify dev side and ops side. So now it's changed, but previously when we make a product, we have to first prepare a server. So we buy a server and do some preparation. So dev and ops was separate. But recently we have the VMs, and we have the like a Cloud Foundry or some virtualization. So dev and ops is more close. And furthermore, DevOps aims to shorten the development cycle. So yeah, so we try to have a fast development cycle so we can close align with business objective. Yes, so that's our aim of DevOps. And Rakuten Travel, it's a 100 employee organization. 100 to 150, it moves. But yeah, it's a 150 organization, and I'm in the DevOps group, the red circle here. And other than the DevOps group, we have 9 teams, mostly application groups who is in charge of different domains, such as booking service or like B2B service. Yes. So this is our organization, and Rakuten Travel has been online for over 20 years. So do you know a 20 years old phone, what it looks like? Yeah, it's a very old phone. So which means the system is very old. Yeah, it was written in Oracle language called PLSQL. So from that time, we have made incremental improvements for 20 years. And now all parties moved to Java, but still we are making incremental improvements. And after 20 years, we are here today. Okay, so, and I'm in the DevOps group, and let me just share our development culture. So currently we are very much liking mob programming. Do you know mob programming? Yay, okay, only a few people. So mob programming is developing with together, like a pair programming, but with more people. So you think it's inefficient, but actually it's pretty efficient because every engineer have different knowledge stack. So if we can work together, not the whole day, but every day, about 1 hour, we do more programming, we can share knowledge about our technical skills. And this actually is very productive in our organization. Yes, and we also have a Fukuoka office, and Fukuoka member also pair programming as well. Anyway, so what is this talk about? Let me check how many more minutes. Okay. So we will share you real experience of over 100 engineer organization. And we improved the productivity using the power of Ruby. And we will share what was our issues and what was our solutions and some insights. Okay, let's go. So why Ruby? So the reason why we use Ruby is because we coincidentally met with Chef-san. Do you know Chef? Okay, and yes, in 2015 there was a DC migration project. And previously our infrastructure group had real servers. And whenever we make change to the servers, we would make procedure like a cp or move or like any other Linux command, and we make a procedure and we execute. So it was very troublesome. But in this DC migration project, we decided to use Chef and server spec. And this time we used Ruby for first time. And Ruby was amazing for the infrastructure group. So we said, oh, Ruby is great. We should use it more. So anyway, in the 2016, our upper management decided we should create DevOps group. Yes, and the reason was because the application teams here, they had many responsibilities within each teams, such as request infrastructure, release automation, auto recovery, and they need to make their own development testing environment. Also, they have to do their CI for each teams. So there's 9 teams, and the 9 teams are doing the same thing. So this is a problem. So DevOps team is created, please do something. So we said, okay. So firstly, let's analyze what the developer were doing. So basically we thought they were doing 3 things. First, whenever there is a new project, they have to do preparation. So they need to make a new VM. So now our service is running on VM. So first they need to have a kickoff meeting with infrastructure team and request server construction, what kind of requirement we need. And it will take about 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the schedule. And afterwards, development, write code, test, QA, and finally release. And this time we do release automation preparation and high availability preparation. And we do release, so this is very troublesome. So we said to ourselves, how can we improve the productivity of the organization? And we thought it's like ourselves, if we have a lot of burden, it's very tough. So it's like a tax. How can we decrease the tax on ourselves? So developer likes to do development, but other things which they don't want to do is tax. So we said, okay, so preparation is tax, and development is also partially tax. Release is tax. Yes, and we did some further hearing with each development team, and we found some issue to solve. And basically, 2 topics we need to solve, we thought. First is the automation related. So there was many processes which needed automation, and also the visualization related things. And each category I will explain after this. Okay, let me check the time. Okay, and the first, request server construction takes much time. So as I said, when the developer want to develop a new service, it will take a new API. It will take 1 or 2 weeks just to create the VM with all the middleware installed. So what we did was infrastructure as code and fast provisioning. This was our solution. So before, the situation is like this. I will explain in detail more, but basically, a developer have to write a text document of what they want, and number 2, infrastructure team will check it. But it is just text, so they are not sure. So they need to have a meeting. And then when everything is okay, they will ask the operator. And the operator will make a JSON file for Chef. And at the same time, request a server provisioning team to construct a server. And after everything is ready, they execute the Chef job to construct a server. There is 2 problems. Okay, so anyway, there is 2 problems. And the first problem is in the developer task. Developer need to write text-based requirement and set kickoff meeting with the infrastructure team. So do you have this experience? I want a new server, but can I set meeting today? And they say, it's too soon, so please set it 3 days in the future. Okay, this seems something like this. So we have this issue. And the second issue is we have to ask a different team to construct a server provisioning team to make the server. And they take about 3 days. So in total, about 1 week it will take. So basically, there is 3 issues. Text-based requirement, need to talk with the infrastructure team, human communication issue, and basically 1 week, and it's too long. So we created a tool with Rails. It's called Terraforms. So what's good about this is we don't need communication. Infrastructure team, which is now the DevOps team, will say, okay, please use this tool. You can choose all the middleware we will provide. And they will add what they want. And finally input like a due date for each environment, dev environment, staging environment, product environment. Please deliver by this date. And then, yes, so we create this tool. So then it is shortened to 3 days. So the blue part is the automated part. This part and this part. So it is now 3 days. So what changed? So there is no connection between the developer and the infrastructure team because we create a web form to construct server. Yeah, and operation team still have to contact the provisioning team, but JSON file creation is automated, so just have to approve, but still 3 days take. So we changed to 30 minutes to finish by using a Terraform. Do you know Terraform? Terraform, do you know? Thank you. So we use Terraform, and the server provisioning team provide an API, so we can improve to 30 minutes. Yes, so operation task improved to just approve the ticket, approve JSON, and execute job, so 30 minutes. So as a result, it's 30 minutes, very good. But con is provisioning API is currently very unstable. So also, operator who don't know detail of this automation is a lot of stress. So that's it about this improvement. So second is about we didn't have a parallel environment. Yes, so okay. So we did a test environment and the network setting. So so the issue was, okay, is everyone awake? Okay, sorry, if you are, sorry, I will try to make more interesting. Okay, so let's say, so what I want to say here is the previous state. Okay, and let's say we are using a VM, this is the actual case. We are using a VM, and I'm a developer. So I make a product, and I want to test it. But there is only one VM, so only I can test using this VM. But if there is another team who is also developing a different version of the same application, that team cannot test at the same time. Yeah, this was the issue. And why that is so is because we were using the same test proxy server as all Rakuten services. So Rakuten service, there is 60 services. And we are using the same testing proxy server, which is this one. So if one team create a pack file and can test server A, but a different team want to test the same domain with server B, this cannot be possible. So at this time, a developer have to make a request to the infrastructure team to change the proxy setting. And it take 1 day. Okay, so let me roughly. So developer make request to infrastructure team, yes. And the developer had to create a pack file and adjust with the other teams if they are testing the same thing. And sometimes proxy does not work because, let me go back. Every service, many of the services in Rakuten was using the same proxy server. So if there is a syntax error in the proxy server, no one can test. This is a big problem. Okay, so yes, this is the yeah, if someone break the proxy setting, it don't work. Okay, so these were the issues. All departments use same proxy server. And we need a pack file. Yes, and we don't want to use pack file. Okay, so we create a Hub3. Hub3, it is a, so what is Hub3? So it is a GUI tool where the developer can make their own proxy setting. So basically, you log into this server, and you will create your own testing port. So if there is 2 teams, one team will register, and they get, let's say, 9001 port. And also, you can set which domain will go to which server. And so that person can test with that. And another person use 9002 and can also set which domain can go to which server. So this is a evolution in travel. Okay. So basically, a proxy setting change was taking 1 day, but now only a few seconds. So well, basically, there is 2 teams. They are accessing the same proxy server, but with a different port number. So they will access a different server, and so the 2 teams can both do testing. So improvement point for developers, they can always update the proxy setting using Hub3. And setting affection is only a few seconds. Yes. And for the developer, and also developer can develop and test anytime. And no adjustment needed. And no waits. So we created multiple production testing environment. But the con is system architecture is very complex. So it looks very simple now. But actually, it's very more complicated. So if the current maintainer is gone, the system don't work. So this is a con. So by the way, do you know what Hub3 mean? So this is a proxy management server. So proxy. So and Doon-Igigo, do you know Doon-Igigo? Same like Soramimi. It sound the same but different word. Proxy is proxy, professional shogi player. And in Japan, when we say professional shogi player, it is Habu-san. So it's Habu-san, famous shogi player in Japan. So we name it Hub3. Habu-san, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, next. Okay, so we did. Okay, I hope you can pay attention more. Okay, so auto recovery method. Yeah, auto recovery. do you have an auto recovery method in your company teams, or do you already use a pass environment or something? Okay, anyway, at the current time, we were not using like a Cloud Foundry or pass environment. So we are using VM and middleware. We start up startup with the automation, but sometimes it fails. So we need a system to auto recovery. But the problem was, so there are 9 teams, and 9 teams are in charge of their own everything. Okay, so in terms of auto recovery, each team had their separate auto recovery shell. Okay, so the process is down. Okay, then the shell will start up the process. And some other group will check the endpoint of the application and then recovery. And some team want to check the out of memory of Tomcat or something, and then recovery. So all the team were using different method. Yes, so this is not good. So we want to standardize it. And also, if we cannot, if each team use different one, we cannot consolidate the task to a different team, okay? Okay. So we create a common auto recovery gem. And this is a basic logic tree. And this is the gem structure. And we also create the init script to trigger when OS reboot. And we have a separate configuration for each server group. And this is a sample log. So you can check if it's working or not. So yeah, please just look and think, oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, so we create this gem and we deploy with Chef. Yes. So now with this DevOps activity, all teams use the same auto recovery method. Yes, and additionally, the geographic of the situation in the company changed, and we needed to make a new system of the 20-year-old current system. So we wanted many of the developers to start working on the new project. So we moved all the alert mail to the sustain team. Sustain team is the team which is in charge of the current system. So it was possible to do something like this because we unified all the auto recovery on all teams. Okay, wait, let me check time. Oh no, okay. So the pro was, yeah, we have same one. And the con is, we have more than 1,000 servers. And it takes half a day to deploy everything. So can we go agentless? So we tried this. So we created a diagram and create mockup. Finally, we did not do it. But one insight was Ruby did not have the concurrency we wanted. So we used Java in the mockup. So I hope Ruby 3 will solve it. Anyway, let's go to the visualization part. And we will go quick because we only have 15 minutes. Okay, and service discovery management. So, okay, I have a question to you, to all of you. Do you know the entire product list of your service? Do you know? Do you know like other teams? Okay, no? Yes, this was the same situation in our company. So I asked someone, 何々さん、すみません、プロダクトのリストを教えてくれますか? And they say, あ、わかりました。So what happened is, they don't want to tell you wrong information because they will be responsible. So they will actually check the correct information and it will take like 1 day to get answer. So they are very serious about if I ask something. And they have to prepare the correct information and give back. So this was the situation in our team. So if you are in team A is in charge of many servers in team A, but team A does not know what team B or C or D have in their product line. What product they have, what servers they have. They don't know it. So this was a problem. So need to ask each team. And there was an Excel file to manage, but it's deprecated. Okay, so we created a tool using Rails. And I hide all the service, but it's a very long list. Now it's only show 4, but we can check all the products and what application is running, the version, the auto recovery state of each server with this tool. And afterwards, all the team leaders and team members can only check Matatabi. And basically, Matatabi has a backend process which access to each server and check the current status every hour. Yes. So we could centralize system and middle information. And we use this for the Terraform, the first one I introduced. And also, I will not introduce, but we also have a release automation system. And we use it for that. And con is we only have one server. So when this is down, it's a problem. Okay, we have 2 more. So relational table data management. Okay, and okay, let me ask a question. So I think we are Rails developer. So when we change the table definition, do you use migration file, right? Yes. Yes. Thank you. And in Rakuten Travel, we mainly don't use Rails, and we use it's a Java culture. So everyone uses Java. Oh, Spring Boot is great. This kind of people. This is Rakuten Travel. Okay. So this was our like a database layer is a separate concern. Do you kind of understand? Yes. So before, sorry, this is very difficult to understand, but let me tell you 2 things of the previous state. So the table definition in Rakuten Travel was managed in a conference file. Who knows conference? Oh, yes. So it's like a Wikipedia page, but corporate page maintainer. Yes, and this conference page was created from an Excel file. Excel has a macro, and so whenever a developer wants a new table, when they want a new table, they will open the Excel file with the macro, and they will input all the requirements for the table, like a column name, column type, length, things like this. And they will click the generate conference page button. Okay, press. Then conference page is created. So also, if they want to modify the current table to something else, they will open the conference page and copy the important part, the current setting, and copy that to the Excel file and make some change, and again click on the please generate conference page button. So this was our style. And so what the problem was that sometimes data on conference is not correct. How can we know conference data is correct when it is possible to change by, I don't know, someone found a problem so they can edit conference maybe. Yeah, so, and actually something might happen. So we created a tool to compare the definition and actual DB. And the tool name is Iceman. And please be 安心してください. I will tell you why it's Iceman later. Okay. So the problem was we don't know if the conference data was correct. So we created a tool so we can compare the XML. So the new definition is in XML and actual DB. So this is Iceman. So what is changed is that we use DB schema to create table. So DB schema will create an XML file, and we will push to Bitbucket. And then there's a DB committee people from each team. From each team, the person who is who have knowledge of database, they are in the DB committee, and they will review the new definition. And afterwards, the committee leader will push to dev environment, and then the database administrator will push to staging and production. And at this time, at every step, we will check Iceman if the definition is correct or not. In this way, we make sure the data is always correct. So, okay, why Iceman? So, hyo table in Japanese is hyo, and the ice is also hyo. So we decide Iceman for the name. Okay. So as a result, database definition is always up to date, and it's in XML. And we can always check the definition is the same between XML and DB. So con is currently people who use it say page rendering is so slow, so please change it. So this is our current state, but we will improve it, no problem. So final issue was system dependency is not known. So investigation of impact is always needed. The system dependency I say here are not gem file dependencies. What I say is this. For example, the front layer is React, and React is making a request with Ajax to API. This kind of relation with these two is what we define as system dependency. And Rakuten Travel managed system dependency sporadically in different files. So we make documents whenever we develop. So in the conference, we have this information. Also, we make some architect diagram in XML. And also, we can check it in logs also. Anyway, yes, this was the situation. So in a developer perspective, whenever they develop something, they need to make sure it will not affect the current system. They need to confirm that the new change will not affect the current system. So they will always do investigation of the conference file, Excel, logs, and then they write the new document in a new conference file. So this was what we were doing. And in a tester case, so testers make like a auto test scenario. And when they make auto test scenario, they will read many documents, and and make a test case in their head, and then make a test case scenario. Like, for example, I showed you the example of React page to API. If the tester knows this information, then the tester will add all the test case related to that connection in the test scenario. Okay, this was the situation. So we wanted to create a tool where developer and tester will see. Sorry, let me check time. Okay. And so firstly, what we did was we just add system dependency in Neo4j. And then result is this. It is just a big ball. So this was not good. So we were able to centralize system dependency, but not structured. We don't know what's going on. And we also need to know Cypher query to actually get the correct information we need. So we wanted to find a way to structurally align to the current architecture. So our architecture is a microservice and layer architecture. So we want something like this. So we created a tool. I'm hiding all the names now, and it's dev environment, so not correct. Not all the correct data. But we put all the component services in a very aligned way. And developers and testers can get the information they want by getting all the dependency from a context menu or even use search filtering. Yes. So using this system dependency is visualized. But the con is where data input is manual. And so some teams don't want to use this tool. And also, there is only one version because we are using Neo4j. One version of system dependency. So if they want to just design a new architecture, they cannot use this tool. So they still need to use Excel. So we try to solve it using Git. And we created a gem called Neo4Git. So let me just share example of creating nodes and relationships. But basically, we used a library called rugged. Rugged. Do you know rugged? Thank you. We used rugged. Okay. Let me try to. Okay. So and now we still have an issue. So we are trying to solve using Zipkin. By Zipkin, we can make system dependency automatically. So by doing activity for 2 years, we were able to automate many of the developer process. So developer now basically only need to do development. So ideally, developer can do development all the time. So it's good for the developer as well. And where to go from here? So now because we did DevOps activity, the 9 teams is now all working on the next generation system. So because we provide the tool, we provide the standardization. All the current system is managed by one team. So this was available using this with this activity. So insight, development. I think development not only create value, but also tax. So if we do many development, there will not be only good thing, but bad thing, which the developer don't want. So it is very important. What I want to share is it's very important to eliminate the tax also. And also if you want to do a replacement project, we want the developer to start on a new project and don't worry about the current system. Also, Ruby is very good fit for this, for removing the tax. And I think because currently all the companies are getting more and more access, more and more tax will be created, and Ruby engineer will be more needed. And finally, we are hiring. Yes, so if you are interested and if you want to work in Tokyo, please contact me. And yes, I don't wear a helmet at work. Okay. Anyway, that's all from my talk. So if you have any question, please ask me. That's all.
We still have 1 minute, so if there's anyone wanting to ask a question. Yes?
Top 3 rappers.
Do you want to hear my rap? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
What?
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm too shy. Sorry. Okay. Well,
Your top 3 rappers.
I like, do you know Machidev? Machidev is a Japanese rapper. And, okay. Well, it's Japanese rapper, sorry. Well, I think I like rap because I think word change. A word is very, it change everything. In like society, there's always not equal, but word can change this. But also in an environment like us, when there's many engineers, it affects in a bad way. Yes, so anyway, communication is very important, I think. So let me summarize like that. Okay. Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Awano, for sharing such informative and interesting talk. Thank you again.